G'day, 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 g'day. Welcome to another video. Hey my darlings, how's it going? It is the end of January. It's actually the first day of February, so I thought I should jump on here and catch up with my beautiful YouTube people because I love you so much. You're my favorites. But I've read hardly anything this month. I just want to jump on here, update you on my reading, what I plan on reading in February, so on and so forth. And I'm going to try and not cut this too many times. I'm trying to do a little bit less with the editing side of things this week because I've been busy. But yeah, here we go. So I read 3 books in January, which is like crazy when last year I was reading 8, 7, 9 sort of books a month. But this month I really just struggled. I was so busy and so unmotivated. I feel like things have just been going really crazy in terms of social media, so I've been getting sucked into my phone way too much, and it's something I want to work on in February. Whether or not I actually will be able to do that is another question, or another thought, because there is so much going on again in February. There's not one weekend where I'm not up to something, and I feel like it's so hard to get into a routine. But I will try and read more. I'm going to set 4 books as the goal for every month, even though I said no reading goal this year. But I just want to at least read 4 books a month to make sure I'm prioritizing reading, because I don't want it to fall to the wayside. It can't fall to the wayside. But yeah, anywho, let's talk about what I read in January. The first book I read is Deborah Levy's Things I Don't Want to Know. I ate it up. Bon appetit, scrumptious. Deborah Levy, I'm sat for you. I love you. This cover, yes, this is what a book needs to look like. I'm sick of seeing ugly books. Ask Deborah what it needs to look like. All of this trilogy, I think, might be some of my favorite book covers of all time. It's a 3-part book series about Deborah's life. It's an autobiographic series. 3 books she signed for, so they're all out. I'm trying to savor them, so I haven't bought the next one. I was going to the other day. This book follows Deborah's recount of being a woman, of being a writer, and navigating that identity and learning about yourself and who you are and your place in the world. And I feel like I picked up this book at the right time. I saved it till I felt like it was the right time, and I was lucky I picked the right time because I literally sat on the train, read the first half in basking in the Australian sunlight. It was beautiful. The prose, oh my god. Like, literally, look how many things I've underlined. I really enjoyed this book, and I'm recommending it. It's going to be hard for things to beat this year. But anywho's, I read it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm recommending it. Really good start to the year. And then this is where I sort of messed up tragically. I started reading At Swim Two Boys. I was convinced that this year I was going to be a big book girly. I didn't know this was this big until I got it and I received it. But look how big she is. She's fat. She's like 700 pages long, and it's set in World War One. It's gay. It's about these 2 boys who go swimming all the time. I figured you can gather that from the title. But it is in Irish slang, and I love Irish fiction. I love it. And usually I can get my head around these Irish slang and things like that, but this is really hard because it's also in prose. And it reads almost like a poem at points in a song. It's a very traditional style of Irish writing, which I really struggled with, and I think the plot was being lost on me because of this. So I literally just couldn't do it. I struggled for 400 pages or 350 pages, and then I just had to call it quits, and I was really sad about it, but I'm proud I did it. But I'm still going to recommend this because I feel like if you can get your head around the Irish slang, apparently this book is phenomenal. So At Swim Two Boys by Jamie O'Neill was the book I DNF'd. I then was like, I need a shorter read, something that's going to hook me, so I picked up The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Phenomenal. My first Morrison. This was Toni Morrison's first book as well, which is so crazy to me, and how advanced it was for the time, and the fact that it wasn't well received at the time. Anywho's, now this book is being re-recognized as a masterpiece, which is good, finally. This book follows a young black girl named Pecola who yearns for blue eyes. She just wants blue eyes. That's all she wants. She believes that if she gets these blue eyes, she's going to be beautiful. Everyone's going to like her, which we know that that probably won't happen. And Toni Morrison is a master in writing. This book is a masterpiece. I loved it. The prose, magnificent. The storyline, the pacing, everything to die for. Chef's kiss. It was so sad. I cried for like an hour after reading it. And yeah, it's a really important read. And the commentary on beauty standards and the expectations on young females, and especially young Black females, and how that affects people, I think is still extremely relevant today and a really important read. So if you haven't read any Toni Morrison, I believe this would be a great place to start. I really liked it, and I'm definitely going to try and read some more Morrison this year because I think she's a phenomenal writer, or she was a phenomenal writer, and I know there's a few thicker books which might be nice to read throughout the year. Then I moved on to On Freedom by the one and only Maggie Nelson, Katie James Book Club. Yep, I read it. It was extremely hard. I've just been in such a bit of a slump this month, even though I've read some good books. It was just really hard. I have been so busy, unmotivated, not prioritizing reading. It's on me. And so this book took me 2 weeks to finish. I was going to give up, but Ben said, don't do it. Persist. And I did it. I did listen to the audio book version for the last essay for, what was it called? For Writing the Blinds. I listened to the essay on audio. So yeah, this is a commentary on care and constraint, on freedom through 4 realms, being drugs, art, sex, and climate. And I think Maggie Nelson, I love Maggie Nelson. She's one of my favorite writers. This was a little bit more difficult than the other books for me to get my head around. It was very complex and big brain energy. Maggie Nelson always is, but it was a rewarding read, and I'm so happy I finished it and persisted. And yeah, nice to read it with a bunch of cool people as well. So they're all the books I read in January. And now I'll run you through what I plan on reading in the month of February. The first book I want to get to, well, I'm actually almost finished, is Bonjour Tristate by Francois Sagan. I'm going to Adelaide to the Barossa. My godmother owns a big bed and breakfast. She's French. It's a French bed and breakfast set in a wine country. It's beautiful. There's going to be a vlog up, and I was going to read this then, and then I started it and I'm almost finished because I've been eating it up. It's set on the French Riviera. It was written by a 17-year-old, and it follows this young girl as she goes away to a holiday house with her father and these 2 women that her father is entangled with, and it's really, really good. I know Renee was reading this, shout out Renee, and so it inspired me to read it, and it's short, and I thought it might pick me out of a reading slump, which I think it has. So thank you, Francois. I really appreciate that. And that cover is really nice as well. I quite like it. I think I prefer the other cover though. Anywho's. Next, The End of Eddie by Edouard Louis. This is autofiction, a Benjamin Journal rec. This is a Benjamin Journal Stan account, we already know that. This is about Edouard Louis' life growing up in rural France, and it talks about social inequity, politics, sexuality. It's gay, and this is a book club pick for Grandpa's Book Club. So if you haven't joined, go over to my bindery and suss it out, because we can have a good time reading this together. So yeah, that's the next book I wanted to get to. Then, I guess, In Memoriam by Alice Wynne. This I've started on Audible. I think I might just read the rest. It will be really good. I've just got to get into it. This World War I gay fiction piece, and I think I'll really like it. And then finally, Elena Ferrante. I feel like this is a good place to start, so I bought it with a voucher I had. My Brilliant Friend, Italy, 2 Friends. There's a few books. How many? It's a quartet, Neapolitan quartet. So I'm really excited. I feel like this is a good place to start. I've got 2 other Ferrantes on my shelf that I need to read, but everyone's telling me to read this first. So I shall listen and do that. So that's the last book I want to get to in February. So yeah, it's been busy. Haven't been reading as much as usual, but we're going to get back on the wagon. Hopefully these few days away in the Barossa will help me, heal me, refresh me. And yeah, thank you all for being here. I think we're about to hit 2K, which is sort of crazy. And I love YouTube. It's my favorite platform of all the 3. Don't tell anyone. But yeah. Anywho's, I hope you're well. I hope you had a good reading month. I hope you're looking forward to February, and I shall talk to you really soon. Toodaloo. Bye-bye. Love ya. Ciao.